Son shit, y'all ready?
I hope y'all are. This episode is about the crib, where I'm from, Newport News, Virginia. And there was a thing, an incident, a injustice. There was a major deplorable act in the area of Shoe Lane, and we're going to talk about that. If you live near the area, if you know the area, Christopher Newport University is a major thing. But for those who don't know, all of that area was a black residency. Black people lived there. And we just delve into the history of that. I'm not going to go crazy about stuff right now because I could. And most of it would be emotionally invested more than a historical perspective. You feel me? Being from there, I remember, look, my high school, they actually bought that. You know, my high school was right across the street from there. So it was like when skipping school, you could just dip over there and eat some of their, like pay to eat some of their lunch. Like, yo, boom, I'm about to chop it up with people who went to Christopher Newport. I say chopped it up, I chopped it up. You know what I'm saying? Absorbing what they were doing, bringing out my ideas. As a young kid, because I was one of them kids, I listened, I thought. You know how it is when you think, and some people say you overthink, and then in certain instances, there's no such thing as overthink. It's just, you're throwing out so many ideas, projecting so many questions, so many joints at the same time that sometimes there's no where that is leading. There's no place where you can find an answer, or you just now, it comes off like, yo, there's just way too many. You're shooting too many questions out. And sometimes you could do that with these people who they weren't that much older than you. So now, a lot of times you're throwing stuff out there like, yo, hold on, whoa. I never thought about that. Huh. And you're a kid. And that's just, it was dope. You know what I mean? Like I said, I used to skip class a lot and just go over there, cut through some joints and go to Food Lion and rack up, you know what I'm saying, doing classes that I just was like, forget this class. But that was my life. When I found out that all of that area used to be black owned, a piece of me was wild out. You're talking to older black people who knew the history about the area, and it was just mind-blowing. So yeah, man, today's episode is about that, and we're gonna get into that, you know what I'm saying? What I have to say first, and we gotta say this, you know what I'm saying? We're not gonna talk about Drake diss, Rick Ross diss, we ain't gonna talk about J. Cole apologizing, we ain't gonna talk hip-hop, we're gonna talk WNBA, because all of a sudden, everybody has something to say about the WNBA. If all of these people who are quick to put in their 2 cents took the time to turn the television on and watch games, the WNBA would be up. There's more people talking about the WNBA than the viewership of the WNBA. You know what I'm saying? Somebody make that make sense. And I feel like this, because I've seen black people take this to these racial extremes. You know what I'm saying? I've seen white people also take it to racial extremes. And here's my thing about that. It's racial from the media standpoint. Caitlin Clark ain't got time for all that. She's not the one making those decisions. You know what I'm saying? Nike is a problem. That's a media thing. That's a corporation thing. ESPN and what they want to show you is a problem. Here's a league that's been in the mix for over 20 years. You're now trying to revamp, reboot, try to repackage something because here's the female Steph Curry, and you're like, yo, her team will have more games on television than the championship team. And that's not a race thing. That is a publicity, that is a popularity thing. Same thing happened with the Cavaliers when LeBron got there. Same thing happened to Miami when LeBron got there. Same thing happened to the Cavaliers when LeBron went back. Matter of fact, here's how wild that is. And I'm going to get back to the WNBA. The quote-unquote Christmas game tradition, the teams who made the finals played each other, right? LeBron goes to LA. It's LA and the Warriors. Cleveland didn't even have a game for Christmas. There was no Christmas game for the Cavaliers. The Cavaliers stopped coming on television. Major television networks, like the Cavaliers disappeared. That had nothing to do with race. That's popularity. The most popular player went to another team, so that team that he just left no longer exists. Even with Donovan Mitchell there, it's still not enough. It's not LeBron status. So the Fever doing what they're doing, them tickets are crazy. We were like, yo, we can go to a couple of these Fever games. Them Fever game tickets is different now. It's a different thing now. That's popularity. That has nothing to do with race. Corporate America is looking at it as race. The players don't care. The players understand the game. You know what I'm saying? The players understand what it is. Most of us, we get it. It's just, I don't know, sometimes I think we want to play into this race thing. Everybody's like, yo, she got a deal with the sneaker joint. Old girl over here ain't got no deal. Not the most popular player. And they were like, what do you mean? Aja Wilson, multiple MVPs, multiple championships, a defensive player of the year, multiple years as an all-star, no signature deal, an author. Now, I saw this comparison because people were like, she has all of this, and y'all gave a shoe deal to this chick, and you claim don't nobody know her. I can guarantee you, most of the people complaining about that Googled her. Like it was an actual person who knew who this woman was and was like, that's messed up. And everybody else went into the Google mode and black mode. Yeah, she was on a couple of commercials. She did, but it's not the same. And it's not, and even then, that's not her fault. That's the way that the WNBA has always been presented. Imagine being a multi-champion, multiple all-stars, defensive player of the year, MVPs. The world is supposed to be yours. You're supposed to be showing up everywhere all the time. Your league is supposed to propel you every chance they get. And they don't. They didn't. And the WNBA is basically a subsidiary of the NBA. So the NBA was like, By the way, the NBA has never really invested in the WNBA. So, think about how many times that they have went above and beyond to make their players superstars, to invest in their players being in commercials in general. Like, no matter what the year is, and when I say that, I'm talking about whether that means they're in season or out season, you're going to see LeBron. Like, you'll see more LeBron commercials and more Steph Curry commercials and more so-and-so commercials during the NBA season, but you could always look up and there they are. Eli Manning was out there with Melo during the March Madness. That's a football player. You see what I'm saying? They're always, when you're the star, you're always supposed to be put in people's trajectory. You're always supposed to be seen. The WNBA / the NBA never did that. They're going to do it now with her, and that's where it looks racist. Because it's like, oh, the white savior, now you guys are going to invest in this. And you have people get mad about her money. Oh, man, I can't believe she's making this much money. That's crazy. It's a crime. They should get paid more. That's BS. And that's where it becomes racist, because now everybody's like, oh, my God. Dude, just a year or so ago, last year, and the year before last, when WNBA players, white and black, were running around going, we deserve more money. You had everybody all of a sudden being statisticians and going, well, this is how much money you guys generate. Where that money coming from? Where that kind of money you talking about coming from? Now you guys are out here talking about, I can't believe she's making that kind of money. The league has always been trash. And it's not, when I say trash, I'm not saying by the players and the coaches. It has always been trash from a marketing standpoint. The NBA has always felt like the NBA threw something together and they tried their best, especially those first 5 to 10 years, to make it compelling. It was always an afterthought. It was never something on the mind of the NBA. It was something they really didn't think about. Their attempt to go global is a big thing. The fact that they were looking in how can they get an NBA team in Las Vegas is what they were looking for. Their minor league, G League, D League, whatever league, that was a thing. WNBA was way over there. You know how people say, I put it on the back burner? They weren't even on the stove. The NBA has never truly invested in the WNBA. And now all of a sudden, because again, the most popular female player of the last 20 years. And I know somebody listening is like, I think he's over exaggerating. No, I'm not. There has been no female basketball player more popular than Caitlin Clark. None. Not at all. Like, this woman is a phenomenon, and a lot of that is because she is labeled as the female Curry, and she makes those shots. Here's something that I think is going to be interesting. What's going to happen when she gets to the league? Because you saw what happened in that finals, in the final game against South Carolina. They put the lock on her, and that's what happens. By the way, when you're the rookie that everybody talks about, everybody's looking to make sure they put their stamp down like, yo, welcome. Shaq will tell you they was coming for his head. They was like, we want to see if the hype is real. Jordan, we want to see if the hype is real. You know what I'm saying? LeBron, we want to see if the hype is real. Larry, Magic, you know what I'm saying? Grant Hill, everybody. It's when the hype is there, they want to see what they can do. Salute to all the female players, because they're the ones diffusing everything. It's not as big as a deal as you think. If that team doesn't make it to the playoffs, the ratings are going to go down the very next year. No matter what she does during the regular season, if they don't make it to the finals, if they don't make it deep into the playoffs, if they don't make the playoffs, that's it. All the talk about Caitlin Clark, she could go off the next year and have an MVP season. If she doesn't step up and even get Rookie of the Year, people are going to turn, and it's going to be right back to where it was. Right now, there's more people thinking, let's put that out there. They think they're going to watch the WNBA this season. They're not. And they should, because there's a lot of mediocrity that goes on in the NBA. There's a lot of allowing a lot of stuff to go on in the NBA that they don't allow in the WNBA. So if you're a so-called basketball purist, an old school basketball purist, you should like the WNBA. You know what I'm saying? There's not going to be like 4 to 5 steps and somebody goes, no, that's a gather step. There's not going to be that. There's not going to be like they're going to dribble, walk 4 or 5 steps, start dribbling again. There's no bump and then they just fly and slide. All of that is over. Like, that does not happen in the WNBA. You know what I'm saying? They're not just running down and stopping and pulling up, doing fast break threes and missing. You got to watch this for like 5 minutes till everybody like calms down and the coach goes, no, for real. Play basketball. It's not Caitlin Clark's fault that all of this stuff is happening. It's not the WNBA's fault that all of this stuff is happening. It's not the black players' fault that all of a sudden the world is being handed over, the league is being handed over to Caitlin Clark. That's the media. That's nobody else's fault but the media. And you better believe her agent is telling her, enjoy this. Who knows what's going to happen when you get on the court? Who knows what's going to happen the next year? Who knows, you know what I'm saying, what the wave is going to be? You guys might, like, your team might suck. Right now, this is you're getting this deal here, you're getting that there. Your team is going to be on television a lot more. Relish this moment. Enjoy this opportunity. Take this all in. Try to capitalize on it. Do what you do. But like I said, it's funny now, all of a sudden, everybody's like, I can't believe they don't make money. A year or so ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, everybody was like, do more, you get more. Nobody was screaming inequality back then, except for the players. Make it make sense. And again, that's what makes it feel racist. Now that you see that this white woman isn't getting any money, and again, I understand. It's not about race. I know it's not about race. Most people know it's not about race. She is that popular. That's what you do. I saw a post where somebody was like, it's hard only in America. I'm paraphrasing. Something about only in America can you have a team go without losses during the regular season through the March Madness and win a championship, have one of the greatest coaches, have one of the greatest teams, and the talk still is about the white player who they beat. And I thought to myself, no, it's not about race. The year Zion was at Duke, they couldn't, like the world stopped just to see Duke play. Duke got eliminated, a lot of the interest dropped. And it was still about where's Zion gonna go. That's a black man. That's what happens. Had there been some team who had no losses and won the championship, you would still see Zion picked first. You would still see all the talk about what's Zion gonna do. That's just popularity. Teams were winning championships. The teams could have had 0 losses. LeBron's rookie year, the year LeBron was in high school, March Madness, nobody cares. Even then, matter of fact, for those who remember, they were like, imagine if LeBron was in college. Brother ain't even in college, and they were bringing up his name. Popularity. It's not about race, but it's about race. Like on the surface, here's the most popular player out here. Like, it's not going to get, there's nobody more popular than her right now as a female, forget basketball player, athlete. The other side of that is, she's white. So yeah, with that comes even more opportunities. And as black people, we see that. We know that. Like, okay, yeah, we get it, she's popular, but we also know there's so much more going on because she's white. Because if she had been Angel and was out here and it was like, Angel's like the next Curry, she's the female Curry, and Caitlin Clark had Angel's vibe. That's when you can outright go, hold on, female Curry and boom 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 and all this, and y'all still think she's gonna be that, you know that? That's where you get to make those comments. But we're talking about the most popular female athlete right now. #1 draft pick. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, once them losses, if they mess around and get too many losses, the viewership is going to go down. Or not even go down. It's going to become regular again. Think about it. But anyway, this episode is about my crib and what went down in the 60s. We out here doing what we do. We're trying to make it happen. East Coast, West Coast, worldwide, Lost Boys. Thank y'all for rocking with me. Let's get into this episode. Here's that clip. Yes. Hey, that's that new. Look, I took y'all on that A-Track vibe. Bobby Womack and Patti LaBelle. That was the joint. Woo! The new birth. It's you, baby. It's you, baby. Look, I'm gonna tell y'all what's wild. For all my hip hop heads, if y'all still listening, if any hip hop heads, Ghostface's debut album, Iron Man. One of the first songs is Wildflower. In my mind, when I saw the track listing on a Clue tape, I thought, that's what we're gonna do, keep it right there. I thought, oh, he did like sampled or something. Man, if y'all ever hear that song, y'all know what I'm saying. That is the wildest joint. But anyway, Wildflower was that hit. Wildflower was sampled by Kanye, sampled by a bunch of people. I sampled it. Just dope. Like I said, man, we out here reminiscing, vibing, feeling good. And I want to get back into the jams, but I also want to do something that I haven't done in a minute, and that is the Black History moment. And I'm gonna do it like this, because I'm gonna keep it in the crib. You know what I mean? So we're gonna do it like this. Ooh wee. Everybody coming through, trying to do the ookie thing. Boo. Anyway, I was like this. Take it from the top. We gonna take it from the top. And I started from the top, so you know it don't stop. Everybody coming through. Summertime flip-flops. Toes all crusty. Nails all long. Curled up in your toes like, ooh, what's going on? Why you walking with your joints all ashy? Monkey knuckles. Trying to go through the ill hustle. What's up? You need some lotion and some clippers. Just to analyze what's happening on the Rilla. I'm playing around. Let me get back to what we do. This moment in Black history. Ain't nothing worth like when you live around beaches and they be just like, beautifulness and confidence are some of the most immaculate things. When you're confident and your vibe ain't real and your vibe ain't good, that's a whole nother, that's a calamity. Yeah, we all been on beaches and seen some people come to the beach, you be like, ooh, for real? Came out like that? Alright, you must go hang out in the water all day. Like, nah. And I'm gonna tell y'all something real. I stopped wearing shorts even before I stopped going to high school. I think, I stopped wearing shorts when I came back home from being locked up as a juvenile. But I'm saying this because I'm talking about the beaches. You know how gangster you got to be in 100+ weather to be at the beach in some jeans. Yeah, that was me. I was that dude at the beach in the sand with jeans. I was that dude, chilling, looking hotter than everybody else, looking ultra hot. You know what I mean? Was out here just like, yo, everybody else got shorts on. I'm like, nah, son, I'm good. But anyway, let's get into what we do. This right here, is about the crib where I'm from, Newport News, Bad News, VA. What up? 757. And I didn't know this history until I started really looking into it, because my thought was like, yo, mom's birthday, the crib, community, like Black community, what was going on? So when I pulled up this stuff, I heard about this stuff back in the day. For those who don't know, I ain't gonna say even where I'm from. The whole area of 757 is very racist. You know what I'm saying? For the people who saw the Freaknik joint, what y'all don't know is the predecessor to Freaknik was in Virginia Beach. That's where they used to all go. You know what I'm saying? The hustlers in the 80s. I'm trying to think of my man's name. He died like a year or so ago, right? Oh man, the dude who looked like they had the joint. They did the paid in full for him about them. Them dudes, Tone and Poe and all Rich Porter and all them. You know what I'm saying? All them, they used to. That was the thing. You know, you go down to Virginia Beach and rock out. Virginia Beach was like, we're starting to get better clientele. We're cutting all that. Like they literally, there was a point where they cut everything. You know what I'm saying? Hampton had their issues. especially for Iverson. Salute to Iverson in the statue out there in Philly. For those who don't remember, like Iverson in those first few years when he was in the league, he would do a thing where he was wanted to have a celebrity softball event, which was one of the biggest money makers in the area. And where he would do it at, bring the beat back, where they would have it at was off of Broadfield Road, because you take Broadfield Road and there was a baseball field that was right in the middle of Bad News and Hampton. So he was like, yo, I'm from here, but I went to Hampton high schools. Like, you know what I'm saying? He went to Bethel. So, you know, it was like, yo, I'm not going to be out there in Bethel because I'm still from here. So that was the middle ground. Like, here's a nice sized joint, and we bring the community out. We bring the celebrities out. And there was never any altercations out there, by the way. Let me put that out there first. Nothing ever jumped off. What happens, both parties are like, you're in the hood, why don't you come here? And he's like, that's not where I'm good. Hampton was like, yo, that's the hood, why don't you come here? Nah. Same thing happened to Alonzo Mourning out there in Chesapeake, where he had his celebrity joints at. And they was like, yo, why don't you have it here? And they don't understand. The whole point is, I'm from this area, I'm from this world. I want to show my community I'm here. You know what I mean? But that's not here nor there. Like I said, everybody has their thing. Now, back in the 60s, 1960s, because now we're in the 2000s and don't want somebody thinking, I want no youngin' thinking I done went to the future. Oh my God, he went to 2026, he went to 2060. How was it out there? I don't know, dude. We still driving the same stuff, eating the same stuff. Water's kind of crazy. You know what I'm saying? Rent is like $5,000 for a 1-bedroom. It's and people are still getting paid like $22. You know, and they cut hours. Just to be real. You know what I mean? But anyway, what happens is there's a place, Shoe Lane, out there. Black community lived out there. Everybody had nice ranch style houses. People had farmland. People had property. You know what I'm saying? They had property. This is real talk. You know what I'm saying? And what happens is, let's take it even further back than the 60s, 30 years before all that. In the 1930s, 41 units were basically for the black shipyard workers. And they had that area. So basically, with all that money that they were getting from working with the shipyard, they took that time and started to really curate, cultivate, invest within that community and make it blossom. You know what I mean? They did their thing. They turned that into a community. You know what I'm saying? Then as time went by, it wasn't just shipyard workers. There were teachers. There were police officers. There were people. You know what I mean? Now, what happens is, somewhere along the line in the mix of all of this the wildness, all of that property becomes eminent domain, up for grabs. People's property just one day becomes eminent domain. It's up for, like, they didn't do the stuff where they do back like you see in the movies where they try to go up to you and like buy your property from you and all that. Nah. Somehow, some way, people's property became not their property. Like, all of a sudden, it's like, no, this isn't yours anymore. Now this is eminent domain. Some spot that you know what I'm saying? We're talking back in the day lived in. And it was just one of those things that was just crazy. So what happens is, there was a white community, affluent community, now blossoming over there in the area, and they're like, yo, there's a country club, and the people from City Hall and all the city leaders, they basically hang out there. They go, yo, we want to come up with something. We want to invest in higher education and do stuff, and they were like, yo, let's make a university. And I'm paraphrasing this whole thing. I'm giving y'all history. I'm not quoting anything here. And it was like, yo, where you want to do it at? And they, for whatever reason, And again, we're talking the 60s, segregation is high, and these black people weren't supposed to be this far up. And this is, again, bad news history. This is every place's history, with the exception of, I'm going to say, California, where if you lived by water, the hood was by the water. You see it out there in New Orleans. That was the whole thing with the levees, you know what I'm saying? Which that wasn't the first time that had happened, where the levees broke and all that. And where I'm from, the projects is right there at the water. Like, Virginia Beach has always been Virginia Beach, but like when I say the projects, I'm talking the Towers, Aqua Vista, Stewart Gardens. I used to be able to go to my aunt's mom's house out in Stewart Gardens, and you could go to the beach. Like, go to the beach. Walk to the, you know what I'm saying? Walk from where she lived and go to the basketball court. Was at least, like, if you went to the basketball court and you went down the hill, you were at the beach. That's how close we were to the beach. It was when the storm, you felt the storm coming, you got to hang out, you got to play in the water. They got all that kind of blocked off now. They got road and it takes a whole lot to get to it now. But back then, that was the thing. Aqua Vista, all of this was basically that. So it was like, nah, y'all are up too far. I don't know how y'all got up here, but this ain't acceptable. And they just took their whole joints. Built Christopher Newport University, CNU. But yeah, took the whole joint from them. Like, took their land. And it was, and it's something that, it's one of those things, especially if you're old enough to remember it, it's a piece that hits. You know what I'm saying? It's a piece of bitterness there, and rightfully so. The city has never compensated anybody for that. The city has never actually apologized for that. It's one of those things, they still continuously tell a story about it, and it's like, and it's, you know what I mean? Like, it's one of those, and what you gonna do about it motions. But it was crazy to think about that, because like I said, East End, downtown, even now, like when I went back home, they rather, instead of build the whole community, when you get past J. Clyde, they built backwards, going towards Yorktown. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're not building the whole strip. They built backwards. Bring the beat back. If you know what I'm saying? If I don't know if y'all know what I'm saying. Like, if you take J. Clyde and all that and you go back far enough, you start hitting Yorktown and all of this stuff. So they're right there in that area now. They've cut all them trees down and they built that. You go past J. Clyde going downtown, east end bound towards Mercury and all that, it gets dead. Like, if you take Jefferson and Warwick, the two main streets, it's like there's just patches of nothingness. But if you come past J. Clyde and you go upwards and back, sort of like you're trying to get your way to Yorktown and Hampton and all that, there's nothing but they built all kind of stuff out there for that. And it's like, yo, that's wild. And then and there's Huntington Beach, and that's, you know what I'm saying, and it's like, yo, yeah, right here. And if you take Huntington Beach, you take Huntington Park off of Warwick Boulevard, and you go all the way down for about 20-30 minutes, you get to Busch Gardens. You would think that your city would figure out a way to advertise the beach area. And by the way, if you go straight down this road for 30 minutes or so, you can also hit and get to Busch Gardens and just make that whole area lavish. You know what I mean? Because then you cross the bridge, there's the New Market area, but nothing like that's really, and it won't, because again, there's deep-seated racism out there. But yeah, man, this is that moment. It's for the crib. Let's get into this joint right here. My mama love this joint. Mariah Carey. She be like, who that light-skinned girl right there with the curly? At the time, it looked like curly red head. Like who this little curly red head light-skinned girl out here singing like that? You know what I'm saying? Let's get into it. Let's do it. Yes, this is what we do. This is how we end it off. Every time when we do it around this time of the year with the slow jam, we gotta have that joint right there. I forgot the radio station. I even forgot the DJ. But all I know is, right before his 2 o'clock shift was up, he let this song play, and it was always the highlight, like at the crib, like, yo, you know what I mean? Especially when the summertime when we in the house, and she's like, yo, hold on, shut up, he about to leave, and he say some words, and then let the song play, and then the next dude come in, and the whole vibe switch up. But anyway, so we up out of here, man. We gonna holler at y'all Saturday, you know what I mean? Universal Soul, a lot of dope foreign music. Before I go, also, before I bounce up out of here, I played the Gladys Knight joint. I like to let my hard drive just play on what you call that joint, shuffle, and like whatever happened. Now, I forgot that I had that song, and when I was a kid, when I say kid, like 13, not even 13, 11, 12, 13, 14, the first verse always associated that. Growing up, I was like, yeah, when I'm gonna take these bars, I'm gonna take these lines and make that a song dedicated to my mom or whatever. Then like I said, I sat around and listened to the second verse. I'm like, oh yeah, it gotta be just the first verse, because this second verse is something else. This is the first verse. You could, you know what I mean, play around with it. But anyway, thank y'all for rocking with me. You know what I mean? And we gonna do what we do Saturday. And enjoy this. Enjoy everything. When it's always dope to reminisce, you know what I'm saying? Think back. You know what I mean? Because crazy times is right now. And anyway, they say you only live once. That's a lie. You only die once. So anytime that your God allows you to get out here and continue your journey, please show the world the best version of you. Y'all be safe. Peace.
This is a Soul of Art presentation.